quick disclaimer. If you've watched any number of videos about this game before the demo was released, you would have likely heard the term Outriders ambassador thrown around. I assume they're channels who hype up the game, get early access to press kits and builds and stuff like that. I don't know what they can or can't say about the game, but I am not an ambassador. Everything I say is 100% my opinion. I'm not affiliated in any way with the developers. I'm just a dude who played the demo and wanted to express my opinions. With that said, let's get into the video. Also, heavy spoilers for the demo.
Welcome to the Valley of Death, asshole!
Outriders is a PvE co-op looter-shooter set on an alien world where you can team up with up to 3 of your buddies to stomp about fucking shit up with a variety of powers based on one of 4 classes. Developed by a Polish studio, People Can Fly, and published by Squarenix. If that sounds really good to you, then you're probably not going to like what I have to say, because despite its best efforts to make it look epic and fun, the demo that was released is okay. Not bad, not great, just okay. And yeah, I know what you're about to say. It's just a demo, it's only a teaser, and I get that. But if Teenage Me bought one of those old PlayStation 2 magazines that came with the demo disc, and I booted this demo up and played it, I wouldn't rush out to get it on day one. Now, let me explain. First of all, I played the demo on Steam, on PC. The demo is available to download on the PS4, the PS5, the Xbox One, and the Xbox Series, and also Steam. Now, I can't attest to how it runs on consoles, but it ran like a sack of bricks on my PC, and I don't have a bad PC. The cutscenes are in a locked 30 FPS, but the game runs at unlocked frame rates outside the cutscenes. However, when you're having conversations with characters, it also locks it to 30 FPS, which is jarring. The game jumps quickly between little cutscenes and then in-game, and then little cutscenes and in-game. And when it keeps jumping from 144 FPS to 30 FPS to 144 FPS to 30 FPS, it can throw you off. And there are lots of little cutscenes, like you opening a door to a new area is counted as a cutscene. You know, it's something that is like 2 seconds. It's odd. It's an odd choice. The demo is completely free. It's not time-gated in any way. The full demo is available until the game fully launches, and your progress in the demo is carried over to the full game. There are some mechanics that aren't in the demo, like crafting, but crafting resources can be farmed, and there is a hard cap on how much of each crafting resource you can have in the demo. The maximum level in the demo is 7, and you only get 2 class points to allocate into your class trees, which isn't a lot. The first choices you have in the skill tree are little stat increases, like percentage. You do more damage, you have more health, that kind of thing. And you also only get access to 4 of your class's 8 skills. But it's enough to give you a teaser. Like, it's a teaser, it's a demo. All of these points are definitely in its favour. People Can Fly are obviously confident in their product enough to publicly showcase it on every platform, unlike another certain Polish studio. Now let's talk about the classes. The classes being the core part of the main gameplay loop that will keep you hooked. They've done a good job in making the classes feel unique and fun for the most part. If we compare these classes to another futuristic sci-fi looter shooter, then there is a clear difference in how they're designed. In Destiny, your class basically didn't amount to much beyond your super. Your abilities were on cooldown more often than they weren't, which meant beyond using your abilities every so often, your class didn't hugely dictate how you played in neutral fights. The fights that happen when everything is on cooldown and you're just shooting people. In Outriders, your class dictates completely how you play, not only due to the class abilities, but due to the way you regain health. But more on that in a minute. Something else that differentiates it from Destiny is that there is no PvP in the game. It's entirely PvE. This means that it doesn't run into the same balance problems that Destiny does. To explain what I mean by that, let's switch gears for a second and talk about Call of Duty. Now, wait, please don't leave. This is relevant, I promise. If you're one of the 4 people that hasn't seen or played Call of Duty, there are things in the multiplayer called kill streaks or score streaks, depending on which Call of Duty you're playing. These are rewarded to the player when they get the relevant number of kills or relevant score in a single life, and they range from very minor to shit that will make you so angry you'll give yourself a fucking stroke. And I'm going to say something that's going to piss a lot of Call of Duty fans off. Kill streaks are inherently not balanced, and they're not fun to be on the receiving end of. Oh, the guy in the heli is gunning me down. Guess I'll die then. And die again. And die again. Well, this wall looks pretty nice. I guess I'll just stay in here. It's frustrating to say the least, and it's probably my biggest issue with the game. However, they are fun to use. It's fun to mow everyone down like it's a PvE game, and that's the rub.
Give your meat a good old rub.
Outriders doesn't have PvP, so they can make the abilities as unbalanced and over the top as they like, because AI Phil isn't going to moan that it doesn't feel fair that they're getting one-tapped. Destiny has this problem as well. It's a huge balance issue. They want to make the classes fun to use, but they also have the problem of them feeling unfun to have them used against you. Now, in the demo, I did everything. I did every side quest, I did the main boss, and I did this on 3 out of 4 of the classes in the game. My favorite class by a long stretch was the Devastator, the tank, essentially. It was legitimately so much fun running around, punching people in the face, turning into floating rocks and pulverizing enemies, and generally just being a nuisance while tanking everything they had to throw at me. The Technomancer was my least favorite class, because whilst the class had life leech, which is you get a portion of damage dealt as health back to yourself, you still feel really squishy. Couple that with the mass of dudes the game is hell-bent on throwing at you, who all have perfect aim, by the way, and I ended up more or less playing Gears of War Simulator, which is an apt comparison, because prior to making this video, I wasn't aware they worked on the Gears franchise. Difference between this and Gears, though, is that the enemies in this game are hyper aggressive. They do not give a shit about how powerful you may or may not be. The game likes to tell you that you are all very powerful, by the way. They're just going to flank and be a constant pain in the penis. So let's talk about health regeneration. There are no health potions in the game, no spells to increase your health. The core part of how you regain health is tied into killing enemies, which means the game keeps throwing enemies at you to kill so you can keep regaining your health. This entire mechanic completely controls how you play, and it feeds into each class. So the Devastator needs enemies to die near him for health to start regenerating. The Technomancer has a life leech, that's what I said before. The Pyromancer only regains health when enemies marked by his abilities are killed. And the Trickster regains health and shield when enemies near him die. I like this mechanic. It's different to other health mechanics we've had in games before. And that would be fine if they were consistent in how they implemented it. This brings me to the boss of the demo. If 3 out of 4 of your classes only heal when enemies die, why make a boss who has no enemies that spawn with him and can damage you from any range? It forces you to use abilities or weapons that give you health back, which there isn't a lot of, which seems inconsistent in how the game's designed and how the classes are designed, and it feels very counterintuitive. Now, I'm no means a game designer, but as a player, that boss felt almost unfair. That's not to say that the boss was hard, but when you're used to bombing around having to constantly find cover and enemies to kill to regain your health back, that boss felt a little out of place. The class abilities are on relatively short cooldowns. Some of the better abilities are on long cooldowns, but for the most part, you'll be spamming your abilities every 10-15 seconds, which means that in the downtime between you using your abilities, obviously you're left to shooting. And I found myself feeling very gimped when I just had to rely on using my weapons. There are mods on weapons which buff or add perks to your abilities or change how they work, and there were some of them in the demo. And I know weapon variety isn't going to be large at the opening of the game, but I guess I would like a little enclosed area with all your abilities unlocked and some high-end guns to try out to really get a taste of what the game's going to be like. Because in the demo, all you really had was sniper, assault rifle, SMG, shotgun. Like, there was no interesting weapons to use. This brings me to the level design. In the demo, you only go to 2 areas. The hub area and the first sort of area just outside the hub area. Now, neither of these areas are particularly large, and they also take design inspiration from that other futuristic looter shooter that I've referenced a couple of times. It's all corridors to small arenas to corridors to small arenas. Now, granted, Destiny was a bit more open than Outriders, but the foundations are pretty much identical. It's not particularly interesting, and in fact, for an alien world, it seems rather not alien at all. It just seems like futuristic human ruins. Not much to say, really. It's just ruins of human civilization. And this is also reflected in the enemies that the demo has. That there's not a lot of them, and they're all human or humanoid. The demo takes 2 to 3 hours tops on your first run through. speaking to all the main characters and doing all the side quests. There's only like maybe 4 or 5 main quests and the same amount of side quests. And the side quests probably took me about 5 minutes, 10 minutes each, tops. So there's not a lot there, but it is just a demo, so I'm not gonna criticize it for that. One interesting thing to note about the game is that the developers have said that this is a live service game. It's a full experience from start to finish, including in-game content. This means that they're not drip feeding you content via seasons or battle passes, and hopefully due to them not having to rely on microtransactions, they can add expansions later down the line that are more classic expansions, not like a season with like 2 dungeons and 3 weapons. But Adam, I hear you say, the trailer shows off more enemies and more areas and more guns and more abilities. Why are you so negative? Well, that is true, but trailers are designed to get you interested and build up hype for the game. And if you're a fan of this genre specifically, you've been burned. So all I can say is wait for full reviews to come out when the game launches. But this game has the potential to be really good, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see. If you've made it this far, thank you very much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a bit different to what I normally make. If you want more videos like this, please do let me know. Subscribe and like the video if you liked it. Dislike it if you didn't like it. Leave a comment down below, and I'll see you in the next video.